Welcome to our tegossuite Partner Community Call. So today's agenda will have a short welcome. As usually, say when and where you will find the spring release, current status of tegossuite learning path. Stefan will report a little bit on what's new regarding DevOps and deployments. Then we will go through the teams. Johannes, who's responsible for Ops, could not attend today, so Thilo will do this. Then we have Marco with RMM. We have Thilo again with Com, and we have today here Marcel Rokita. He will present tegossuite data and will talk what it's about. And we will present our first AI customer showcases. This will be done by Lukas Fuhrmann. And when you attend Hamburg, you know already what Nunc is. Nicholas will present Nunc, and then we will go to the release planning of the next release, of the autumn release. Please, as always, allow me this short disclaimer. Yeah, basically it says if you see something on a slide, it's not a commitment. If you need commitments for something but from Tegos, please contact us that we are aware that we gave you something which we should be committed to. Okay, the spring release will be there. As usually you find, I hope you all are now in our Teams channel. The release notes will be published on Friday. Have a look on it. And later on, Stefan will go through you of the detailed release timetable when you find what and where. Okay. And we will now see later with the colleagues what is the content of this release. Last time we already started giving to you our what we call a tegossuite learning path. The basic idea is that we have standard slides we use within our workshops, and we created them and we want to share with it. As usually, here you see an overview about what is new, what is update, what is unchanged, and what we published already. You will find it again in the Teams partner channel, within Teams, and then the channel, I think it's called Processes and Materials, and there you will find the updated learning path. Okay, these are the English one. We have also some German-speaking partners here. Sorry for that. With German, we are a lot farther, but also a lot of it is standard Business Central material. We will translate the things and will continue to publish it to you so that you can use it in your own projects. Please give also feedback. I'm really interested if you find them useful. I would also like to hear if you use it already, if you have other needs, if you can support you in doing better and more projects and shorter projects, please let us know. Yeah, this is where we are investing a lot, primarily for our own projects, but yeah, we want to share it so that you also can benefit for it. Okay, as said, I would like to keep it short. So far for the introduction. Then I would like to hand over to Stefan.
Yes, thank you, Miguel. Also, hello from my side. I'm Stefan, part from the DevOps team at Tegos, and I'd like to show you something briefly about the new things we've got, or we will have together with the release of Spring 22 and also the release plan and the dates for that. So what we'll have new starting with the next Spring release is a NuGet feed, where we can share all the application packages. So why did we choose to go with a NuGet feed now? We previously did it with zip files and with all the contents and source contents within those zip files. But we'd like to change over to a NuGet feed, just to follow the standards or the initiative from Microsoft MVPs like Freddy and Camille, and have a unified naming scheme for all these NuGet packages, which will provide you with always up-to-date tegossuite release packages, and you can also use that NuGet feed in the future as an upstream source for your own internal continuous integration or continuous deployment pipelines. For example, Zimova and also Continua are already providing upstreams in the same format, so you can also integrate those as well, and also have up-to-date packages from them as well. We will distribute major and minor tegossuite releases and updates in this NuGet feed in the future, which means that in the Teams channel, we will focus mainly on release notes and on notifications when we have new releases available. And the change logs for these releases will be available in the package descriptions of the NuGet feed itself. Availability will be starting with the tegossuite Spring release on April 1st this year. You can also already see a small preview on the left side, and we will make it available and give you further information inside of the Teams channel as well. Regarding the timeline for the Spring 26 release in the coming days.
Sorry,
so next, yes,
if you could go back. So
sure.
If you, like me, are more in the management role, or if you are in a sales or consultant role and you have no rough idea what he is talking about, please go to your technical guides and say Tegos has no NuGet feeds. And if they are not excited about it, let them talk to Stefan. Yeah? It dramatically simplifies how they can access our versions. So go to your technical guides. We have no NuGet feeds for our tegossuite. Thank you, Stefan.
Thanks, Miguel. Timeline for the upcoming days for the spring release. Next Monday, we will start with the release candidate 1. We will publish that to the Teams channel as usual. We will only start going to the NuGet feed at the 1st of April. So 3 weeks later, we will release candidate 2 on the 2nd of March, followed by the final release on the 1st of April into App Source, then also the new NuGet feeds, and also announce it in our Teams channel. Updates will start for existing environments, can be started roughly a week later. That's dependent on Microsoft's availability on updating existing environments to Business Central 28. And as usual, as in the last releases, you will have time nearly half a year, so 5 months until the end of August to complete the update. So use the next weeks to get ready for Business Central 28 for your solution, and also get ready for tegossuite Spring 26 with all the new features and that will be talked about in the next slides by my colleagues. And that's all I've got from DevOps. Thanks. Oh, you muted, Mikael.
Thank you. Do you have any questions, or Stefan, regarding the NuGet feed, regarding the release timetable or DevOps in general? Stefan, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Okay, next will be then operations team. As said, Johannes is not there, so Thilo, thank you.
Yes, Miguel, thank you very much, and hello and welcome from my side. Yeah, in the name of Johannes, I would like to present you a small overview about what the focus in the upcoming major release is from the operation team. I would like to start with the quality improvements. First of all, we have to make an announcement. It was planned that the 3 parts you will see listed up here, the global internal material catalog, the core treatment module and the core analytic module should be replaced. And it was also announced that it will happen this spring release. But obviously, they had to do some changes, and like always, the devil lies into the details, and so therefore they had to postpone those replacements of the modules to the upcoming autumn 26 release. Then the next topic is automatic tests. Please notice that this is an old slide from spring 25, where Johannes announced that they had 25 process tests for the automatic tests for their modules, WayMe and YardMe. And that changed slightly because today they have already now 220 process tests created, which run always when we have to do some changes and to check if those changes have any impact. So they did quite a huge improvement in steps of the quality in terms of automated tests. Then another note, there is something coming up, what is called Digital Waste Shipment System, DWAS. That is simply, or not simply, this is more relevant for our EU colleagues, because that is something what the EU wants to start. They want to go also digital and centralize the system for handling the waste which goes over the border. The problem is nobody really knows currently how the IPA interface will look like for this solution. But basically what we would like to tell you is that we are taking this topic seriously. We are trying to find and get as much information as possible. And as soon as we have any idea how this will work, we would like to confirm that we are providing a solution how we can handle DWAS in tegossuite. But again, not very much information is available at this stage. And basically, that is already everything from the operational team.
Thank you, Thilo. Are there any remarks or questions? Please, so much time we have. Please do not be so shy. Okay. Thank you very much, Thilo.
Thank you.
Let's continue with Marco.
Yes, hello everybody. As I said, my name is Marco. I'm the product owner from the relationship and money management team, and I'm going to tell you what's new in the upcoming release from our side. So first of all, this major release has been mostly focused on changes under the hood. We targeted some enhancement across tegossuite, the core tegossuite processes, including some things I will show you a bit later on. And we've also been trying to make the performance measurable and the product more reliable, so that we can improve the overall working of tegossuite. So the first topic I want to talk about is the changing of the posting type after inventory posting. What happens sometimes in some cases that stock postings in metal trading often use, for example, index-based prices, which can change after the initial posting. So something that is posted first of all as a sales order might change back into a purchase just because the price switches from positive to negative or the other way around. Standard tegossuite and BC architecture blocked this automated posting type change after the item ledger entry is posted. There was always a manual workaround. You needed to correct your postings, recalculate the pricing, redo the posting. But to be honest, that is not so manageable nowadays because of the fact that it will take up a lot of time. So what we did, we created a new feature that allows you to automatically change the posting type that being triggered by the price calculation, even after item ledger entries have been posted. This, of course, mimics the natural correction of workflow, but now fully automated. So this prevents errors and it allows you to, well, do your business more and more smoothly. Important to mention is that also posting groups change accordingly and postings to the interim accounts is done correctly. So in general, this will save you time and reduce errors, and it also removes the process bottlenecks for customers with automated workflows. So let's see how this works. So in here I have my order. It's a simplified order. We have, since we don't have that much time, and we have in this order already posted our material. When at the moment, when currently this is a purchase, because the price is a purchase price, we would change the price from a -5, which means that it is a purchase price. This price model has been set up so that positive value means sales price. If I would change this, for example, to a sales price of €4, and I'm still in the old situation, I would press get price. At this point, I would get an error because you are not allowed to change the posting type because at least one waste entry has already been posted. This is an error that most of you already had. But with this major release, we also have something called feature management tegossuite, which is a new feature where we can let you preview or enable and disable new features if they might be being a process breaking change. And here we have now the possibility to enable changing of posting type after inventory posting. This new feature management is really easy to use. You press active, and from that point, the whole functionality is there. So again, I have here my positive price now, but I already posted my purchase price. I can now say get price, and as you can see now my purchase price has been switched back to a sales price. With the exact unit price excluding VAT. So it's a short demo. There's a ton of things in the background happening. If you want to have more information, feel free to contact me well after this session. A second thing I want to show you, it will not be a live demo, is that we added dimensions nowadays in the treatment templates. So treatment orders are mostly created from templates, and until now we did not enable to maintain dimensions within the treatment template. This has now been changed. So with this new release, dimensions can be maintained at treatment template level. So this will again save you quite a lot of time. It will need to be enabled in the reporting setup, where you can say use dimensions, dimension metric, for material treatment templates. And with that functionality enabled, you are now able to set up your dimensions in advance. Third topic that I want to present is price risk. This module has been around, I think, since a few major releases, but we have worked hard on the improvements and optimized the module. We noticed in the price risk module there were still specific scenarios that were not fully covered by the module, So what we did is, well, to optimize this, we switched to identifying all possible scenarios that we can think of. At the moment, we have now developed test scenarios for 41 scenarios that have been identified and created as automated tests. And with those automated tests, we could investigate our own code, so test-driven development, and we could start optimizing the module. So the impact is that this is a big improvement of the price risk module. And yeah, this allows us to make better software and also a stable base for the future. Some other small improvements that are there. A request from one of our partners, the buyer reference was also added to the credit memos and will be filled out automatically. All, as said, small improvements. It is now also possible to use a payment request amount, including VAT, in tegossuite. This is a feature that is just a page control that we added to the contract and order, where you can now fill in the prepayment amount, including VAT. You don't have to calculate everything back to excluding VAT. The rental invoice simulation report has been optimized. That was not the most beautiful report that we had in our stock. And we added various additions to the APIs that will make our Power BI reporting a lot better. And finally, there's a functionality called emergency permission set management. This is used for if, for example, a user is using a lot of permissions and user roles, and new objects come in, that these new objects are automatically registered in an emergency permission set. There was an issue there when you copied an environment to a sandbox environment, you would require to deactivate this functionality, and you would need super user rights for this. This has now been optimized so that it's automatically deactivated when an environment is copied, and it doesn't require super authorization anymore. So, just as with all the teams, we have invested a lot of time in automated tests. At the moment, as we speak, and this is not just our effort, this is an effort of all the 3 product teams. tegossuite Core consists of 520 process tests, so that's next to the ones that Tilo just mentioned about in the ops team. This is also next to what we developed for the price risk team. This is just tegossuite Core. And well, this makes sure that we are really improving the quality of our product. One other thing I would like to mention is that the Continia OP Plus connector for tegossuite will be discontinued. As you might have heard, Continia has announced that to phase out OP Plus in favor of a new Continia banking and finance modules. So OP Plus is coming to its end of life. As a result, the Continia OP Plus connector app will also be discontinued with the upcoming, it says autumn, sorry, that should be spring 27 release, and no further announcements will be there. I want to give a shout out to you as partners, so a call to action, so that we are currently working on a partnership with a third party to get a new banking integration for tegossuite. Currently, we're still working on the practical experience, but if you have these challenges, yeah, please contact us, reach out to us, so we can help you to start looking into alternatives. So as a final point from my side, I want to emphasize and mention a bit about tegossuite Municipal. As mentioned in the Partner Day in Hamburg last year, we are working on a new municipal waste module on top of tegossuite. So we can provide a dedicated functionality for the municipal waste business. The pilot projects with selected customers are already underway. We're validating this concept and ensuring that it will fit with their real-life operations. And based on this, we target to come out with an official release somewhere in the coming year.
Marco.
Yes.
So I'm gonna, you guys knew I couldn't be quiet because that's not my style. On the last one, based on our conversations back in Hamburg, I've been waiting for 4 months for you to call me back to tell me what's going on with municipal so I can get a copy of it and start looking at it and comparing it to the customers that we already have or have engaged with so I can start providing feedback. I'm still waiting since September, my friend.
Yeah, Michael, you're completely right. Shall we take this in a separate session?
Absolutely. I'm saying nothing that will embarrass Miguel. I can't embarrass Miguel. So that's putting it out there. I'm still waiting for that phone call.
Mike, I'm happy to get some feedback and not having here a single conversation by us. So I really appreciate that you lighten this up. Thank you.
To be honest, Michael, I'm also really happy that you're also eager for this module because I am as well. I must say, as always, we had a bit of delays and challenges during the last few months. It's been really, really, really busy. So
I know, but some great new stuff came out. I'm super excited about a lot of the things, especially the testing scripts that blew my brain. Lots of great stuff. I just don't want to. The longer we wait, the longer it just goes by the wayside, and I don't like waiting, especially with something that has the potential for what municipal has.
Let's come together and make an appointment. Good.
You drop me a line.
Yeah, Marco, you also did great testing and improvement regarding municipal and performance.
Yes, as well. Yeah, that's something I said already during the partner day. Municipal was the first module that where we started using parallel posting of the data. So that means that we are able to, from a journal standpoint, we are able to post, I think it was 100,000 records in a matter of, I think, 2 minutes or so. I don't have the figures exactly at the ready, but yeah, we tested up until 1 million records at that point. So that was really, well, impressive.
Yeah, you had mentioned that during Partner Day, Marco, and that was one of the key constraints we used to have with the old product. That was one of the constraints that Antonio and Tilo used to talk about all the time.
Yeah. Okay.
Further questions or remarks for Marco? Okay. Thank you very much. Then let's continue with Tilo.
Yes, one more time, hello, this time for myself. I would like to present to you, of course, some stuff what we did from the commercial team for the new spring release. And during preparation of this meeting, I was thinking, okay, how can we present this? And I was thinking, well, it's winter time, we had all good food from the holiday season. So I thought maybe it makes sense if we start with a fitness program. So, and 5 easy steps going from, the couch potato to the Hof. So let's start with the first step, just gentle warm up. And for that, I would like to start with the small improvements. On one side, we have the integration of the relation functionality into our matching. you may remember, there's from last release, we have now the opportunity with the determination of a relation of supplier and receiver, or different business partners, to define what we call relation, and this relation can be used to use as a price building criteria, or even now also in the matching to filter existing transport contracts to make it more easier to identify the needed information. I will show you this in a minute. And the second very, very small improvement, but I think everyone was already wondering why we didn't have earlier. We are now able to call the tegossuite card directly by the number. So let me show you two small things. First, let's go with the relation and matching. I won't go into much detail now into the matching process by itself. So I'm middle in the process of the matching, where I allocated already a supplier and a receiver contract. This is now our delivery, and I've planned 4 deliveries for this allocation. The next step is now to find the right contract for my transport company. So what we can see over here now is that we have 2 new fields in this overview. We have on one side the supplier region, and this is determined by the city of Bremen. And on the other side, we have the receiver region, which is also determined by the city of the paper mill over here in Aalen. So basically, we have now the need to find a transport company that drives from Bremen to Aalen. So when I go now to create deliveries, this opens up the existing wizard. And over here, you can now look up the existing transport contracts. Now, before this version, you had a list of every possible contract line. So there was no filtering, nothing available. But as we can see now over here, the system uses the relation function to determine from where to drive. And this gives us back this relation. And now it filters all the transport lines based on this relation. Of course, the contract information should have the relation available, so we can filter on it. But basically, this is just expanding the existing functionality now for the relation into our matching functionality. So it's not only available anymore in purely contracts and orders, it's already upfront in the matching process available. That's for the relation. And the second small aspect is the tegossuite plan. Like I already said, no big deal. We just changed the page over here. So now you can already see we can now simply open a tegossuite card directly over the number. Not a huge improvement, but I think if you, everybody wonders why we hadn't this available up front. Okay, so these were the smaller improvements, and if you stay with me, we go to our second exercise. It's becoming a little bit more intense, and we speak over here about global placeholders. If you work with data recording sets, speaking about order creation codes or order feedback codes, you know that you can use placeholders to identify the needed data which the user has to type in. Now, if one document uses more than one data recording set, so for example, more than one order creation code, which had the same placeholders, then the user had to fill in multiple times the same information. And that, of course, speaking about redundant data is not always a good thing, especially at, the user was asking himself, why should I have to do this always? And of course, it gives you a potential input error, which can be avoided. So how did we change this? It is now possible to mark placeholders as global. And therefore, that means that it doesn't matter how often the same placeholder in one document appears in different data recording sets. The user has to fill in only once now the needed data, and the system automatically synchronizes this information to all other related data recording sets. So at the end, what is the added value for this one? Of course, the major focus is to improve the user friendliness of avoiding double data entries. And of course, it minimizes errors in terms of handling. Let's take a look how this looks like. I created an example. In this case, it's just a contract. And please note that I have 2 times exactly the same construction in terms of the service lines. So I have exactly the same content for a drop shipment. The only difference is that at the end, we have different order feedback codes. So let me show you how it works before we had the global placeholders. For that, I will create an order out of the first part. And again, the idea is that you have a drop shipment with a supplier and a paper mill as a receiver, and a transport company which does the transportation service. And as you know, especially with drop shipment, you have several or 2 different operational data. And also you have then different quantities for invoicing. And you have to remember who's in charge in terms of which quantity is relevant for the invoicing and so on. So currently, or up today, until today, you had to do the order feedback in this way. I know it's a little bit extreme, but it should give you an idea. On one side, you have the operational quantity of the pickup. In this case, it is 19 tons, for example. So therefore, the invoice quantity for the pickup is already set to invoice by 19. The delivery quantity operational from the weight bridge is maybe 18, for example. And that also is the invoice quantity for the paper mill. And at the end, the transport company has also to get paid by the same amount of the quantity. And now the point is that you even would have to remember, okay, hold on, we have an agreement that the invoice quantity of the supplier has to be the same as from the paper mill. So therefore, I would have to change this also over here manually to get this result at the end. So we can see now all 3 lines have the same quantity. And over here, the supplier and receiver, they have like different quantities in the operational part. That was how worked before. Now I can show you what happens if we use global placeholders. So I use now exactly the same situation, but only with different data recording sets. So exactly the same. So I start with the order feedback. And now what I would have to do is just type in the loading weight. And so again, the loading weight was in this case 19. The unloading weight is 18, and that's it, because when I confirm this now, I have exactly the same information, or also the same result. Again, how does that work? If we take a look now to the order feedback code, as you may know, the order feedback code can work with placeholders. And now these placeholders can be set as global. So when I drill down over here, it's simply one aspect where you have a new option, global, and that's the only thing what you'd need. So to determine a global placeholder, so in every data recording set, so for example, for this one, if I use a placeholder which is marked as global, it doesn't matter if the same placeholder will be used in a different data recording set. As long as they marked as global, you just have to fill in the data once, and the system automatically synchronize to all other document lines, which includes the same placeholder. Okay, that's for that. So when we continue with our exercises, it's getting a little bit more harder. We speak now about quick pricing. Well, as you all know, we changed our price finding to the new price model system, and with every change, there's always light and shadow. And one shadow was, of course, especially if you knew the previous version, that the record of a new price or changing a price was much more easier than in the new pricing model system. So basically, we will see this also in a minute. The user had to go through different pages, had to click several times just to simply change one existing price. So what have we done to solve this? We are now able to do the same thing what you know from Envis times. We're now able to write directly in the document line our price. So therefore, in contracts, we have a new field, which is called current price. And in the general setup, you can decide how this works. So basically, there are 3 different modes. One is display. It basically does exactly what it does right now. It just shows you the information of the current price. But then you have now indirect and direct write options. And how this works, I will show you in a minute. On the other side, for orders, we have now an assist button in the price field where you have now direct access to the price details to make the necessary changes. The system works in that way that you can use this direct writing of price, not even for simple price models, but even for complex pricing, if you have several different components. In addition to that, we also did some minor adjustments, so it's not possible anymore to accidentally reject an entry if you forgot to click a certain button for creating a new price. The system just didn't create a new price without noticing you, and that is now avoided. So how does that work? Over here, I have an example of a contract. And just to show you again how it worked in the previous versions, we have over here a current unit price of 10 euros for this price model. And I just want to simply change this price from 10 to 20 euros. So what do I have to do? If you count with me, I have to select a line, click once, 2 to prices, show price, 3, 4, 5. I count this one as 6. Change the price. 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 11, sorry. And 12, 13. So, and there we go. So this was a quite time-consuming process. You had to focus on all this kind of different screens and so on. Now with the direct writing, the new version, in the new version, if I want to change this price, this material price over here to from 10 to 15, you can do now the following. So to be fair, we start also over here. 1, 2, 3, enter, done. What happens? In the background, the system knows that this price module is ready for quick pricing. And it also, when I go now to my details, it creates directly for the price building criteria a new price with a starting date of today's day. And so therefore, you just simply can now type in the price over here. If you take a look, this price module was, of course, a very simple one. It just had one component. So what happens if you have a price module which is a little bit more complex? So let's take a look over here for this price module. Let me show you first how it looks up. We have now 2 components. One is my reference price of the material, the market price, and I have an individual surcharge and deduction for my business partner. They were simply calculated together, but as you can see, they're like 2 different components. We can mark one component for quick pricing. So therefore, if I would like to change now this price from 45 to 50, I can still type it in directly. But since it is a more complex price module, the system says, well, okay, you are changing a price for a price module with multiple components. The price you entered was not applied directly because you have now to define, okay, how does the difference of pricing should be calculated. So in this case, it shows me over here some more detailed information, how the price is currently calculated. So we have our reference price of 40 and our surcharge and deduction for our customer. I see over here my old values. So what I can do now is simply I go over here and say, okay, I want to change it to 50. So in this case, I have to add the surcharge from 5 to 10. Create price, yes. And then we have our 50 over here. So, but even if you have even more complex, so when I change it to 55, you can still then, if that's not enough, can go directly over here to the price details. Now you have the complete overview about every component, every detail, and can do the change what is necessary. Also, that's what I mentioned earlier. We had some minor changes. You see over here the existing unit price. That's not new, but now we have renamed the functionality. So it's now really, yeah, the correct name, what it does. Transfer existing price. So it takes this value and drops it over here. And so if I change then over here something, you had earlier always to confirm this by using this create price. And if I do close now this page, normally the system didn't create the change. So when I do now close, the system will ask you, do you want to change this price? Yes or no. So this avoids also accidentally not recording a new price. Small thing, but I think quite helpful. Okay. Yeah, added value, of course. purely on focus on usability, and because then the user has to focus on the process, not on navigation, and yeah, less work to do. Almost done, so bear with me. Subcontractor management. We thought that, or we know that a lot of our customers are working with subcontractors. So some of our customers work purely with subcontractors. Some of our customers just eventually work with those. Either way, if you do work with subcontractors, you always have to do a lot of manual work when you would like to make some changes to your existing documents. So therefore, just to give you an example, if you have an order where you would like to do a material input on your location, suddenly you have to decide that this material input cannot be handled on your own location, but you have to involve a third-party disposal company. You would have to change not even the existing line to the customer. You have to change the material type from input to drop shipment. You have to take out the location code. You have to take out the weighing, dispatching sign, and so on. But then you also had to add a new line to this order for the third party. So there was a lot of manual work to do if you would have to do somehow a subcontractor change to the existing document. We have now what we call a new core function, subcontractor management, where we offer you 4 new main processes. One process is the ordering of subcontractor services for existing documents, either way through document templates or through existing contract lines. And the system does all the necessary changes for you. So it will open up a wizard, and for each certain process, so for a transport service, for example, it will make all the necessary changes in the background, taking away the existing entry line of the existing transport service, so it doesn't show up anymore in your dispatch board, and so on. So all the different stuff which is normally necessary will be done automatically. Second main process is the modification. So for example, assuming you already ordered something from a subcontractor, and now he calls you and say, hey, listen, I'm sorry, but I cannot do a transport service tomorrow for you. My car broke down. So you would have to do modification to existing orders in terms of changing the subcontractor, for example. It is easy if you have maybe only one order, but it is very complex and complicated if you have like 10 or 20 or even more orders which you have to change. So the system will provide you with a function to mass change orders if they have a change of subcontractors. Also, order feedback process. If you have only one order and you receive data from your sub-vendor back, it's quite easy because you still use the order feedback process directly out of an order. But what happens if you receive end of the month, like hundreds of documents from your subcontractor, which you have to allocate to hundreds of your own orders, depending on how much you give it to a subcontractor? There's now the possibility to mass re-enter data back into orders. And this is also what we're going to see in a minute. And the last process is, of course, cancellation existing assignments. So What is the added value? Of course, kind of different parts, usability, because it's now a guided function to make certain things. You don't have to think about anymore what kind of fields do I have to change, what kind of information do I have to add or take out of an existing document. That, of course, reduces the potential of potential errors. And we have transparency because we can see also when we do an order feedback, for example, what I already recorded back. So let's take a look to this one. In this case, I have already an open order. And again, it doesn't matter if it's an order, if it's a contract, it has to be already an existing document. I have over here a quite simple order, a material and a transport service for this customer. And I decide now that I cannot do the transportation by myself. I want to ask a sub-vendor for doing this. So I simply marked this line and I have now this function sub-vendor, and I can say, okay, commission sub-vendor. It opens up a wizard. We will change this wizard because we want to have as less clicks as possible. And this over here is a nice information, but not really necessary. So this will go away. But it will over here now, it opens up the wizard. And you can say now, very easy, would like to use an existing document template or existing contract lines. So let's start with existing contract lines. The next question is for which sub-vendor, and I choose now this one over here, this transport company, and it shows me now all my relevant contract lines, which offers me a different transport services with the different prices and so on. And if I choose now this service over here, choose next, it will automatically not only create my new line, but does everything what is necessary for this order. So for example, taking away the transport entry line, because this doesn't have to be dispatched by our own company. So all this stuff, what is necessary, will be done automatically. Also, what we can do is, if I go to sub-vendor, take this away. Currently, the system only takes this new service line away. In our upcoming next minor versions, the system will be able to even undo all the changes from the existing lines. So basically, the system will then create back the needed transport entries, or as an example, but maybe also all the other data. But this will happen in upcoming versions. Sorry. So one more thing I would like to show is if I use a document template, same game. I choose my vendor over here, and now I can choose my document template. We added a new category for the document templates, so it's more easier to filter on the different document templates. So in this case, I use only for my sub-vendor transportation a specific document template, confirm that with OK, confirm this, and the system also creates a new line and does all the magic in the background. So what about the order feedback process? So like I said, if you have only one order, that makes it easy. You can still use the order feedback process. But what happens again if I receive a pile of documents from a transport company? Therefore, we have a new journal. It's called the sub-vendor feedback journal. And as you can see, you can set up some filters, or you can use a batch name where you can set up certain pre-filters. So for example, I choose now, I received my invoice from my transport company Lagna, confirm this with OK, and the system automatically reads in all orders in which this business partner is marked as a carrier for this time period for these transport services. And what I can do now is I can add all the needed fields for this order feedback from operational point of view. So for example, external document number, external bill of delivery number, quantities, vehicle number, and task date. But not only line by line, but so for example, let's assume that, just as an example, these two orders have whatsoever the same external document number. So I mark those lines. I say over here, batch feedback column, choose the external document number, new value, external 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, close, yes, and there it goes. It writes back to all lines at once the external document number. Same thing with all the other fields. So I can use that as a batch column. So let's assume I do, for our example, I do also another external document number. I have the quantity of 12 and I have a vehicle number of over here. So what we can do now is then say, okay, I'm done with my feedback process, either way by completing or sending back the information to all at once or only to selected lines. So when I choose selected line, this one is marked, it writes it back. And I still can work over here on needed information. So when we take a look to the order, we see now this quantity is written back, the external document is written back, and the vehicle number is also written back. So also over here, we have now the very comfortable way of mass re-entering operational data for our orders. Yeah. So final sprint. I know you can do it. Stay with me. We have check codes as the last feature. What are check codes? And honestly, I think this one has the biggest impact of how our customers will have defined their processes. Because we are now able to automate plausibility check through the complete operational process. What does it mean? Either way, if I have a quote, contract, or an order, I can define several different plausibility checks where the system automatically will do a check if these plausibility checks are fulfilled or not. If they are not fulfilled, it will not allow to continue the process. So in previous versions, everyone had to check everything manually, basically. So if you weren't sure about which column had to be filled, which value had to be set or whatsoever during the complete operational process, the chances were quite high that you missed, for example, the operational quantity. You missed an external document number or whatsoever. So what we can do now is that we can define what we call check codes. And for each document type and for even each document line, we are able to define these checks, which will be then automatically done by the system. We distinguish between 3 different types. One manual check, which is simply has to be done by the user. So therefore, if you say something like you have to call the customer, he has to mark this as done, otherwise it's not cannot be continued. We have semi-automatic checks where the system or no, not the system, where the user can push and start the check manually, or we have fully automatic checks, which is also based on our handling status, or even for releasing an order, or creating an order out of a contract, or creating a contract out of a quote. So like I said, I think that has a huge impact for our customers because it is a time saver. It replaces manual checks. You have a much better reliability because the process will only go through when it's really passed the test. And that, of course, gives us a huge improvement in quality and transparency, because you can even see who did what kind of checks. Therefore, also we have fewer errors throughout the operational process. So let's take a look how this works. Therefore, I open up another contract as an example. Again, I just have like 3 different services. The important part are back here. We have the checklist description. And as you can see, I have like 3 different checklists over here. I won't go into much detail, but I have now, as you can already see, a check on a price, quantity, and location. You can set up these check codes also in that way that you could have all 3 of those in one checklist. So you wouldn't have to do, you don't have to worry that you can only do one specific check per line. So you can add as many different checks as needed. This is just for example purposes. Like as you can see, we have one line. This is invalid. It has an invalid price. We have over here a quantity check, and as you can see, the quantity is already empty. And we have over here a location check where you can see the location code is empty. You also see that we have like different colors. Red means it is not passed yet. Green means it is done. But, well, why is this green even if we have no location code in our contract? Well, that means that this check is not relevant for this type of document contract. The location code will come in handy when we later on work with orders. We're going to see this in a minute. So for releasing a contract or to create an order out of this contract, the location code is not mandatory. But price and quantity is. So let's see what happens if I would like to right now create an order. It gives you now a message box where it says, well, the price is not valid. Please contact the customer by phone to verify the contract, and the quantity is missing. So, okay, a lot of stuff to do for us. So let's start with the first one. Since we have now our quick entry, that's an easy one. I just have to enter the price over here, and I have now a valid status. Let's see what it does. I can open up here directly to execute the checklist directly on the line, and it says, well, I'm done with this one. No errors found. It turns to green. Quantity check. I write in a quantity over here, and when I do up and execute the checklist over here, I receive an error. Why? Please contact the customer by phone to verify it. Okay, so what I can do now over here, it's still red. I can drill down to my checklist and we see on one side, we have a processed and passed general quantity check. And that was done by the system on this time and day. Now, I, as a user, this is a manual one. I, as a user, have to confirm, yes, I contacted the customer. And that will record the user and time and day when it happened. So when I close this one, now this one turns green. Everything is fine. We're good to go.
Kilo time.
I know. Give me 1 more minute and I'm done. And as we go to the order, everything goes at the same part. Let's see if we do the checklist up here. You selected a wrong location. Why? The price is valid. I have a quantity, but I don't have a location over here. We have our mixed paper, and I, whysoever, choose that it might be a good idea to put it on my metal location. And that says you selected a wrong location. So it's not purely checking on that there is a location. You can even set up the system that only certain materials are relevant for a specific location, as an example. So when I check this one over here, now I'm done and everything is green. So excuse me over here. Thank you very much for your patience. And I think with this spring 26 release, we are ready for the upcoming summer. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it.
And Miguel, you're looking good in that picture.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you.
Okay, one last slide. This is in general not really from the Com Squad. It's basically, I would like to explain a little bit what we have done in terms of performance. Marco already mentioned certain aspects. I just wanted to point one thing out, that we are currently working in 3 different categories in terms of the performance process, which continuously is a process. On one side, we do performance optimization by using the new technical possibilities which Microsoft provided us. So as an example, we added now the concurrent posting and the tree state locking into tegossuite. On the other hand, we defined performance scenarios for measurements. So currently we have defined, or we are defining 15 different scenarios, from order creation to weighbridge ticket posting to batch invoicing. So covering the complete processes, where we use this performance scenarios to measure all the changes we have done to the system in terms of performance, to see what impact those changes have. And last but not least, we are using active telemetry data from our customers for comparison reasons. So to see, okay, which processes does our customers use a lot and needs a lot of time, to define then, for example, what kind of things we can do to optimize it by either way, for example, defining prioritize which system should receive tree state locking and so on. So these are basically just some more information of how we are working currently in terms of performance optimizations. And now I'm done. Thank you, Miguel, for your patience.
Yeah, great. Thank you. It was a lot of content. It was very exhausting with a high-speed training, Do you have some questions or remarks for Thilo? Okay, as you see, as you may notice, metal functionality are going more and more in the background. We are now important customers live, and the next one is currently in the process test, in the user acceptance test. So I expect that we see less and less metal functionality. We talked about municipal. We saw here simple or single processes and modules to simply enhance usability, enhance efficiency of use of tegossuite. And under the hood, you saw our very big investments in the topics of quality and performance. Yeah, and we do not have performance problems yet with Business Central Online, but our customers are growing, the volumes of our customers are growing, and we simply try to be a step ahead. This is also the reason why we have the scenarios created so that we can measure impacts and that we increase simulation of load and to be ahead of possible performance problems. Thank you for to the product owners. Let's continue with our agenda. Let's have a very short look on our agenda. Here we are. Okay, next Marcel will present tegossuite data, and then we will see our customer project showcases we have with AI, and then a nunc and a short outlook for the next release.
Thilo, would you please share your screen?
Yeah.
Well, after all that workout and the steps done, or we've done to become the HOF, I was asked to do a little commercial break. So my name is Marcel Rokita. As Thilo, I'm part of the commercial team. And I'm responsible for the tegossuite data packages. What are the tegossuite data packages, or what is behind tegossuite data? Well, the idea was that every project which actually started from scratch, or everyone had their own packages, we decided to create packages which have a standardized setup for examples, consultants, developers, or our sales team, so that everyone can use. So what is in those packages? It's full of standardized processes which came from setups from our SureSep team, and all results from projects which are in those packages. Why 2 packages? Well, first of all, the basic package points for example consulting needs or project starts. So it has a basic setup with predefined processes. And we have a second package which expands the basic setup with demo data, so you can use it for sales purposes or for developing. And they are ready to download. We have, I think, a folder which everyone can access and download the packages. We provide them in German and English, UK. And yes, that was my little commercial break. Please feel free to use them for demos, for developing or sales purposes. And as always, any hint, feedback, or ideas are highly welcome and appreciated.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much again. A big investment for us. It helps us with our projects, where we in the past simply stated with a very bad set up database. We now, at least in German, can start directly. Our consultants find a good setup database. Yeah, and a big process for us. Even if you have your own data already, I would recommend to have a look into it, to look how we think the solutions should be set up. yeah, we see that we also, with some implementation, we more rely on a certain structure and a certain handling of tegossuite. So it's a good idea to have at least a look into it. And I hope that we will have the next partner community calls with really pure English master data and not longer the container service or the German Papiermühle and things like this. Thank you, Marcel.
You're welcome.
Okay, let's continue. Lucas.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Most of you probably don't know me. I'm Lucas Fuhrmann. I'm part of the AI team. And today I'm happy to talk a bit about two customer projects we did over the last few months in the AI team. So to start off, we have the first customer, which could you advance the slide, or should I share?
Lucas, did you add your hair with AI?
No, no, it was like that before.
Lucas, please share your own screen.
Okay. Give me a second. There we go. And yeah. So for the first customer, they had a challenge with their overloaded mailroom. So they had employees who were only working on processing emails and invoices, and so we wanted to help them with that. And we wanted to use AI to automate the whole process. So what we did is, or at least the plan was, we wanted to implement a Power Automate flow, which then classifies the emails based on the invoices and documents sent with it. Sadly, I don't have a live demo, but I brought a simplified concept of it. So basically what we did is every time an email comes in, we have an email trigger set up in Power Automate. After that, we go through the attachments and extract all PDFs and go through these PDFs with a Power AI Builder OCR, which is implemented in Power Automate itself. And then we check, first of all, the company to see which of the customer's companies is actually the one that this invoice should be delivered to. And then also check what type of invoice it is. For example, material trade, technical purchase, something else. And after that, everything gets forwarded to a separate email address that then can import everything into the tegossuite. Now, I said invoice types like material trade, technical purchase. It also checks if it's even an invoice at all, or even if the mail has any invoices, and if that's not the case, or if there's any error with processing it or reading the data, it will then fall into a failsafe where the mail will then be forwarded to the manual check folder, so an employee has to manually review it. We're currently in the go live of it, but before, of course, we tested it extensively over the course of 3 weeks. And over the time, we got 2,210 invoices or emails sent to the invoice address. Of those 2,210, we manually checked 893 of them to see if they were classified correctly. So the company is correct, and also went to the correct invoice type folder. And out of these, only 27 were classified wrong. So we actually got an accuracy of 97% with this workflow, which helps our customers cut down time on manually sorting and classifying those emails. So much for, yeah.
Before, how many people were, how many FTE were sorting these emails?
I think they have 2 or 3 employees that were sorting them before.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. yeah, so much for the first example. Now, the second customer was also a bit of the same, where a department was overloaded. This time it was the invoicing department, though. They were overloaded with document processing and reporting tasks. So again, with help of AI, we wanted to support them to speed up their processes. And we used Nunc for that. You'll hear about Nunc in a bit more from Nicolas. But the customer defined two use cases where they wanted us to implement a assistant, which basically it helps you inside of Nunc to in predetermined ways to speed up their whole process. And now let's have a look at the concept of those. The first use case actually starts off with the assistant asking you for a delivery list. You input the delivery list and then also invoices that are corresponding to those, or rather to the entries of the delivery list. And after that, the AI checks the provided data and matches the different entries of the delivery list to the different invoices. See if they actually match, gives you warnings if they don't, and lets you clarify or upload other data if there are any problems. After everything is said and done, the AI then goes through all the different data and extracts the Weighbridge ticket IDs because the customer needs them to continue working, and then outputs them in Excel in the order of the entries of the delivery list. It was rather simple use case. The other one is a bit more complicated, but again, it starts off with the delivery list. This time we're not matching it to invoices though. Our customer had an external software where he could also track the deliveries, and they could be output as an overview in Excel. So we had the delivery list, the external overview, and also a list of subcontractors. So crucial information were missing in the delivery lists and in the external overviews. For example, the name of the subcontractor, it would only give you a number. So we built them an AI assistant that would automatically match all of the three or even more files together and create a new list for them that have all the necessary data to continue working with that. And after everything was created, again, we just got an Excel output that the employee can keep working with. Yeah, like I said, we implemented those two. We also showed them to the customer. They were very happy with it. They're still, to this day, they're still working with those and actually sped up the progress with it, processes with it. And not only did we implement the assistants for them, we also helped them create their own assistant. So for a customer, we gave multiple trainings, so AI in general, Nunc, how to create your own assistant, and they're still actively working with Nunc, and are creating their own assistant using our assistants that we provided to them to streamline their workflows. Yeah, that's it for the two customer projects. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask, or if you have any customers in mind that would need help with AI, we're always happy to help.
Yes, please. We are searching for good use cases. We build our AI team, and yeah, if you have interesting customers with interesting use cases or even billable use cases, yeah, contact us. We are happy to help.
Miguel, it's going to be me again. I have 3 use cases for AI specifically. I left it on the plate of the Sonova team. The Sonova team never got back to us. So I'm more than glad to pass on those use cases to you. I actually have probably 6 customers with the exact same use case.
Yeah, great. Send them over to me. I can forward them, send them to Lucas. Yeah, we are happy to help. Let's have a look into it.
The other question is that in our meeting back in Hamburg, we talked about Nunc and understanding more on how we can utilize it as a partner. So I'm still open to the idea of how do we utilize Nunc as a partner internally so that I can then talk about it more intelligently to an actual customer.
Yeah.
I have 3 or 4 customers that I have one in mind in my head right this second. It could be a perfect Nunc prospect, but I don't know how to propose it to them because I don't know how to use it.
Yeah, great, and thank you for this great transition to the next topic. We have with you directly Nicolas. He's from our team, and maybe you answered this question already in your presentation. I'm not sure. If not, maybe you can help Mike with getting started with Nunc.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, my name is Niklas Bukowski, and I am the one of the 2 developers of Nunc, and it is our context-aware AI assistant. And I already, together with my colleague Julian, had the chance to present it in Hamburg. And today I want to give you a short update about our progress, about new features, and the further roadmap. Let's go directly into it. I want to shortly look back. So in June 2025, we officially started the project in the Tegos. In September, we had the chance to present it on the customer day, as already mentioned. And in September, we did the rollout inside of Tegos Group. So we have now 164 users across the organization, and we have a monthly active user rate of 81% right now, which is showing that the tool is very well adopted by our employees and helping our employees in their daily work. Then we had the chance to do a webinar about it, and after that we did intensify the sales process, did demos. Now in January we achieved the first goal to get a first paying customer, and I'm looking forward that in this month 2 more will join, and then we can hopefully grow our customer base. We have also introduced a separate page for our product, and we would be happy if you would give us a follow. That would help us a lot. And from then on, we are now intensifying the marketing and sales. We are broadening the target group, and we want to push that further in the process. Now coming to the new features, what we have been working on, and it's also especially interesting regarding Business Central. We did add the full MCP support for our product Nunc. So MCP is more or less integration to connect AI with some third-party tools. So on the left, you already see some of the pre-configured tools that we can now connect to Nunc, and one of this is also Business Central. And what is special about the Business Central MCP? So Microsoft did announce it in last directions in EMEA, and it more or less gives you the opportunity to expose API pages as MCP tools to the AI. So on the left, you, for example, see a picture where you can already see that the AI is able to fetch data from Business Central.
Are you showing us? I'm not seeing anything. I'm sorry.
I'm seeing your screen, so.
He's showing a presentation.
Okay, I can stop and try again. Maybe that does help you. Screen. Are you seeing it now?
Perfect. Yes, I am, Nick. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, then bad luck that you didn't see the first slides, but yeah, I will just continue. So
you missed the best part, Mike.
Damn it.
So the Business Central MCP does allow data fetching and reading, but it does also allow to write data into Business Central. So yeah, it's not only the one way that we can read data, but we can also write data into Business Central and also invoke actions. Yeah, we did also write a blog post about how to set it up and how to use the Business Central MCP on our Nunk website. If you are curious about this, yeah, I can recommend it to read it. I want to, say something why I do think that MCP is a big deal for the future. Yeah, more or less, it's bringing us new opportunities by connecting with AI, using more and more natural language. So yeah, language interface and not a code interface. And yeah, it's more or less a plug and play interaction, which can, for example, also reduce heavy integration work. So from now on, you are able to yeah, build integrations and AI connections via yeah, natural language and do not have to program a lot. That is at least yeah, the potential that is there. We will have to see how well that works out really in the reality, because it's quite a new topic. But yeah, so more and more we have the ability to build powerful agents. So we can really define several steps in agents. For example, first read some data, then check some data, and then in the end, for example, execute an action or write data to Business Central. So there are countless potential use cases. We have thoughts about the first ones. So you could, for example, think about this use case where you are opening Nunk in the context of Outlook. Then you have a pre-configured assistant, and this one could, for example, search for the business partner in Business Central. Then it could, for example, retrieve all the relevant data that the human in front of the screen needs. So, for example, if a customer is asking for a new offer or a new quote, then you could, for example, retrieve all the data that the human who is sitting in front of the screen really needs to answer the request. For example, about the last offer, the price, and so on. And for example, it's also possible then to create a first quote or order in Business Central via the MCP server. Then to another feature that we have introduced in Nunk, it's our fast assistant. So as you see in the video, you can select text anywhere on your desktop. It's not it's not for only one tool, it's working across your full Windows desktop, and not also only in Microsoft tools, also in other tools. So everywhere where you can select text, you can mark the text, then you can open our fast assistant and you can, for example, tell the AI to rewrite the sentences to ask, and you can also ask questions. So for example, what does this mean in this context? And yeah, that's a very quick access to AI to ask some small things and to get very fast help with AI. Another feature in a similar way is our transcription assistant. So also on your full desktop, no matter where you are working, in which application, you can start our transcription assistant, which then records the audio and will transform the audio into text. That's especially helpful when you are writing down concepts or ideas or just thoughts, or when you are sending emails that should be fast or send Teams messages. And what you maybe did see now is that we have also introduced a formatting step in this progress. So it's not really putting everything in one line, what you have said, it's also formatting the output so that you can, in the best way, send it directly or leave it as it is after the formatting.
Hey,
One
Nicholas,
last,
got a question.
yes.
Use case. Could I use text to create a contract?
Yes, via the MCP server, yes.
So I won't have to type a contract in. All I have to do is create contract. I want this, and it would create the contract. Then I could send the contract out all verbally on my right from my cell phone.
Okay, from your cell phone, I would say not,
Remember,
because
Business Central's on my cell phone, right? So I have the Business Central app on my cell phone.
okay.
I'm a sales rep. I'm a sales rep in the field.
You need the Nunk app.
Yeah, so in the end, the MCP server, is not only available or usable in Nunk, it's also available for other applications. But Nunk is currently only on the desktop and not on cell phones, to be honest.
So I could still use my desktop in my car, connect via Wi-Fi, connect to my server, and do it all verbally without having to ever type anything into the system. I could talk to it and let it do all verbally.
That is the potential that the MCP does give us, yes.
All right.
I want to lose some words about. Sorry, was there something else?
No, I just want to tell Tonchi I want that.
Sorry, I did not understand.
He's talking to me. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Okay. I want to lose some words about our vision. So we have a strong vision how we want to develop our tool further. We want to go more and more to the vibe working mode, and that's meaning that we have the workspace on the left side and the AI assistants on the right side. And here in this short video, excuse me, it's in German language, but I guess you will understand it. We are asking our tool, so we are asking Nunk to fill the fields in the business partner card based on an email signature. And in our agent mode, it's now possible for Nunk to retrieve fields. So now we found 14 editable fields. We are suggesting what we would enter into the fields, and now the fields are entered directly in Business Central. Okay, if that sounds maybe interesting for you, you want to maybe try it out. We have for all people a 2-week free trial on nunk.ai, and of course we are looking for partners regarding sales. So if you maybe have customers who could benefit from our solution, just contact me. We are actively searching for sales partners, and that's it from me.
Well, Nicholas, there's a question from Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Nicholas, more than a question is a suggestion. So I actually sent some of my customers to the Nunk AI website, and they could see a map of Europe, and they could see very clear that this solution is an AI solution built specifically for European companies. So they're like, we're not a European company.
Yes.
I know that it has to do with the GDPR compliance, but I think you should, make sure that you address that this will work for any company. And,
Antonio, it will meet European standards, so it will meet also all other standards.
Of course. We meet even the European standards, so of course we meet the US standard. Yes, and
Miguel, biggest challenge is that you and I both know American companies don't care about anything in Europe.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. We understand your feedback, Nicholas.
It says Europe everywhere on the website, and in multiple places, and then. So we have Nunk, I had to search it because when you said Nunk means now in Latin, I think it does, but I think it's spelled with a C everywhere. But
yeah, that's right. Thank you for your feedback. Of course, our first target group was our European market. So if it's now also maybe interesting for your customers, then we should think about targeting also them. But thank you.
And then that's feedback. One question. Are you LLM agnostic? Do you work on top of one LLM? Your subscription includes the models or the access to the models, or can you choose your own models if you want to use, Claude or other models, for example?
Yeah, so we are providing in an included way already some access to some models. We are having the OpenAI models, we are having the Anthropic models. We can also include Google models and Meta models, for example. It is also possible to bring your own API keys, and it's also possible to include own models or other models than that we are providing. So we are very flexible there, what is also an advantage.
But the pricing structure includes some of the paid models in your pricing already?
Yes.
Built into the pricing. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, do you have the contact data of Nicolas, Antonio?
Yeah, I would also prefer that we have a follow-up and discuss anything about it.
Nicholas, I would highly advise you get on the phone, get on the email, get on a text, and communicate with Antonio. Antonio and I already tried to communicate with the Tegos team since September in regards to Nunc, and Ralph is a witness to this. And we've had little or no response since September. So that's October, November, December, January. So for 4 months, no one in Tegos has responded to this.
Thank you for the feedback.
The onus, Miguel, I'm putting the onus on you to reach out to us so that we can get this moving.
Okay, thank you for the feedback. Here you have the direct connection.
Yes,
okay.
I am responsible for this, so
thanks, Nicholas.
We can have a chat. Yes.
All right.
Good.
So let's continue with our last topics. We have 10 minutes left. A very short outlook. What's the timetable?
Yes, as Miguel, as you always say, the release of the current release is the start of the new major release, so or something similar. So let's look forward to the autumn release 2026. For the next slide, please make screenshots, take your calendar, because these are the dates that matter. Of course, it's preliminary. But for the autumn release, we have the following timeline. So already in August, so the 17th of August, we will release our release candidate 1 of the autumn release 2026. On the 13th of August, we will have our partner community call. And on the 7th of September, there will be release candidate 2, and the general availability will be starting on September 10th. So the year is short. Finally, one other thing I want to bring to your attention, and we already mentioned it before in the separate teams, there are a few modules that are on the roll to being discontinued. So on the left, you will see the name of the old module, and in between brackets, the replacement module. That will be the analytic core module, which will be removed on the autumn 26 release, the internal waste catalog. So really prepare for that. Make sure that your modules are your add-ons are in order. The treatment core module will also be removed at the autumn 2026 release. And we are planning on removing the old Weybridge module, which is by now already replaced by WAMI, of course. Entry lines is also planned to be obsolete. Well, these two are not yet defined yet. And finally, as mentioned, the OP Plus connector will be set to is already set to obsolete, but will be removed on the spring 27 release. So also for this, feel free to take a screenshot. I think we will share the slides later on, Miguel.
Yes.
And that is what I have. So, Miguel, I would like to give the...
Okay, then thank you very much. I will stop the recording.